welcome to today's vlog. So today's actually Sunday, and so obviously I start work tomorrow, Monday, per usual. And so every Sunday I usually do meal prep, and so I thought I would take you guys along with me today. I am going to prep 2 meals for this week. The first is going to be my turkey and rice kind of power bowls, which is my ultimate go-to. I make them usually every single week. And then the second is going to be something new that I actually just started eating, and that is going to be a shredded chicken quinoa salad. I absolutely love doing meal prep. It seriously saves me so much time during the week. I usually get off work at 3:30, and then I go to the gym after, and by the time that I get home, it's 5:30 or 6 p.m. And the last thing that I want to be doing is making my lunch for the next day, when all I really want to do is make my dinner for right then. If you just sacrifice an hour or two every week to set aside to do your meal prep, it seriously just saves you so much time during the week. It is so worth it, and you will not regret it, I'm sure. These 2 meals that I'm making today are great for work. As you can tell, that is what I do with them, but they are also great for school lunches or just wherever you're going during the day where you need a packed lunch. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first meal I'm going to start making is the shredded chicken quinoa salad, and so I'm going to start off by just trimming a couple pieces of the chicken, just trimming off some fat. I think I'm going to do 2 chicken breasts, and then you will just need some chicken broth, and then I am just adding in some oregano and basil, and then a little bit of salt as well. And for this, you will need a crock pot. Alright, so as you can see, I plopped the chicken in here after I cut off all the fat, and I just cut them in half just so that they were less bulky in the crock pot, and then I also set it to high. And so now I'm just going to add a little bit of oregano, and then a little bit of basil. I like my chicken kind of Greek flavored, that's why I'm adding basil and oregano. Then I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, but I have to grind this, so I need 2 hands. And for the finishing touch, I'm going to add pretty much all of this chicken broth. So just pour that right over the top. You just want to make sure that all of the chicken is covered. And for me, that was how much it took. There was just a tiny bit left over. So whatever you need to cover the chicken. I'm going to leave all of the recipes in the description box down below, but just note that for some of the spices, I do not measure out spices. So I will just try to give the most accurate measurement that I can, but I do not actually measure them. So if you are a measure by the eye kind of person like me, then just ignore that and just know what spices you actually need. Alright, so the chicken needs to cook for about 3 to 4 hours on high, and so while that's cooking, I'm just going to make the quinoa to go with this. I am just using this red quinoa, the organic kind from Walmart. And whatever quinoa you use, it doesn't matter if it's white quinoa, red quinoa, or tricolored, just follow the cooking instructions on the back. And for this meal, I am going to make 3/4 of a cup because quinoa seriously increases in size once you make it, so this is really all I need. The quinoa is all finished, and as you can see, this was 3/4 of a cup, and it literally made so much. This stuff literally multiplies like crazy, so this will be plenty for the whole week. Alright, so the chicken is done. It actually only took 2 hours in the crock pot on high, so just note that, but after it got out of the crock pot, I just shredded it up into all these really nice bite-sized pieces. And so the finished product, I added a huge handful of spring greens on the bottom, and then I added 1/2 cup of quinoa, and then I added 4 ounces of the shredded chicken, just a little bit of cut up cucumber, a tablespoon of hummus, and then a little pile of feta cheese. Then to top it off, I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of this zesty Italian salad dressing, and I will just have this on the side when I am ready to eat it. And everything else is cold in here, so I actually don't bother warming up the chicken separately. It's just a fully cold chicken salad when I eat it at work. With the rest of this chicken and the rest of the quinoa, it'll probably make about 2 to 3 more meals. So it'll make like 4 in total. This shredded chicken and quinoa salad is new to me. I only just started trying it last week and it's seriously so good. Already one of my favorites, so I know I'm gonna be meal prepping this for the next couple of weeks. Next up, we are going to make that turkey Powerbal that I talked about. And so for the Powerbal, we are actually going to make turkey meatballs for it. So we're going to start with 1 pound of ground turkey, a jalapeno, not necessary though if you don't like heat, 1 egg, juice of half a lime, half a cup of breadcrumbs, some ginger powder, some garlic, and some cilantro. And the easy thing about meatballs is you literally just throw it all in one bowl and mix it together. So we're going to do that right now. Before we get started with our meatballs, I am first going to start up some brown rice in my rice cooker because this is a Powerball, so I'm gonna be mixing the turkey meatballs with some brown rice and some other ingredients as well, which I will show you later. I am just going to make 2 cups of this regular brown rice in my rice cooker. If you don't have a rice cooker, you can just make this on the stovetop in a pot as well, but the rice cooker is just super easy for me. I throw it in and it does the rest, so I'm going to start up that right now. Once again, I don't measure my spices, but I love a lot of ginger in these meatballs. So you do need a half a cup of breadcrumbs, just like I said before. I'm only using my 1/4 cup twice because the half cup measuring cup I use for the cat food. And then you can also see that I switched to a second can of breadcrumbs, and that's because my first one ran out. Yes, I am chopping up a whole jalapeno here, but a little secret, I didn't actually end up using the entire thing. Only like 3/4. What can I say? I like things spicy. The recipe definitely only calls for a couple tablespoons of cilantro, but I love cilantro, so I probably ended up putting in like 1/4 cup. I also like to go through and take only the leaves off so that I'm not using any of the stems, but you totally do not have to do this if you just want to cut off like the bottom of the stems. There is no harm in using those as well. So just a quick dash of salt and a couple grinds of pepper, and then mix everything all together. So now I'm rolling the meatballs into kind of like a medium size. This is about like 3 tablespoons worth of meat in a meatball. I make it so that 3 meatballs equals 4 ounces. Alright, so these are what the meatballs look like. I made about 14. I think the actual recipe says it makes around 10, but I guess that totally depends on how big you want your meatballs. I guess I like mine a little bit smaller, so I made 14. Now to just stick these in the oven at 350 for about 25 minutes. The last thing I'm going to make for our turkey bowl is a peanut dipping sauce. And so for this you will just need rice vinegar, any sort of peanut butter. I'm using the Jif Natural Creamy, garlic, ginger powder or fresh ginger if you want to grate it, and some lime juice. I love using these little mini mason jars from Walmart. I use them to make my salad dressings and then also this peanut sauce. For this peanut sauce, I've definitely tried a wide variety of things and I've come up with my own recipe. So for this, I like to make it in larger quantities because I use it all throughout the week. So I'm taking about 5 tablespoons of peanut butter to start. Now, taking 2 tablespoons of water at a time, I'm going to mix it with the peanut butter until it gets a more watery, saucy-like texture. Don't forget, I will put all of the ingredients and their measurements down below. And now it's time for assembly. I'm taking 3/4 of a cup of that brown rice that I made in the rice cooker, 3 turkey meatballs, that adds up to 4 ounces, and then some added shredded carrots, which I love putting in this. I just take a big handful. And finally, some roasted cashews, no salt or anything, completely plain, and I do about a half a serving of cashews. Then I'm taking that peanut sauce that I just made and I'm going to put it in this little Tupperware container that I have that's perfect for sauces. And for this, I'm doing about like 3 tablespoons. So this is my finished meal for lunch. This is my turkey Powerbal with my cilantro lime turkey meatballs, the brown rice, the carrots and cashews, and then the peanut sauce. I am going to take this peanut sauce at work and I'll be drizzling it over the top after I warm everything up. And on the day of, I will also add a big handful of spring greens on top. I just want to make sure that that isn't actually in the bowl when I put it in the microwave and stuff, because that would be really gross. So I like that to be fresh on top. For the rest of the turkey meatballs and rice, I just like to store them separately in the fridge, but you can totally pre-make all of your lunches for the week if that's what you like doing. Sometimes though, I just like to have them separate in case I want to use them for something else, like maybe a dinner throughout the week instead. Alright guys, that is all for today's meal prep video. If you liked these meals and liked seeing what I eat for lunch at work in a week, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and click subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.